Friends, I am Krishna Chaitanya from Hyderabad. Today I came here to talk about a sloka in Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is a very sacred book. It is available for all the human beings to take as much of gold from the book as possible. How much ever clarity you get on Bhagavad Gita, that much clarity you get about your life. And your life will be full of joy. All the sorrow will disappear if one can understand Bhagavad Gita properly. So I will take one sloka today and discuss that sloka in detail. The sloka is Yuktahara viharasya yukta chestasya karmasu yukta swapnoya bodhasya yogo bhavati dukkha. Let us repeat again. Let me repeat again. Yuktahara viharasya yukta chestasya karmasu yukta swapnaya bodhasya yukto bhavati dukkha. So let us know the meaning of each word first. Yuktahara means proper or right way. Yuktahara. Ahara. Ahara means food. So Yuktahara is right way or proper food or right way of eating. Next is Vihara. Vihara means all kinds of enjoyments we do. Next, Chesta means all the work we do, all the job we do, our daily duty in our day-to-day life is Chesta. Swapna means here referred to as sleep, sound sleep. One should sleep a sound sleep. And Avabodha means enlightenment. So now discussing about this topic, the first topic, that is about Ahara. Ahara is for the body. One should have right food to have a right body. What is right food? Right food is nothing but having vegetarian food, proper food. Proper food is having vegetarian food. Meat eating, killing animals for the sake of food is forbidden. It is sin. It is not allowed for any human being. So in this sloka, yukta, 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 almost 3 to 4 times it has been repeated in Bhagavad Gita. So the first thing is ahara, right food. Next thing is vihara, right enjoyment. Third thing is yukta chesta, means right job, right way of doing the job. Fourth one is yukta swapna, means right sleep, right way of sleeping. Fifth one is right enlightenment. So my dear friends, it is very important to understand this sequence. First is about the food, that is about the body. If you are perfect in your body, then next when you are perfect in your enjoyment, then when you are perfect in your job, whatever you are doing, then when you are perfect in your sleep, then you get right enlightenment. Because there is something called wrong enlightenment also. So regarding the first topic, right food, one has to eat vegetarian food. No garlic to be used in the food. No mushrooms. Do not use microwave. Why no garlic? Because it will kill all the energy in the food. You will only eat the dry mass. Why no mushroom? It is neither a plant nor a animal. It is a fungi. There is no chlorophyll in mushroom, so we cannot eat it. Why no microwave? I've already told you. Why no garlic? There is disturbance in energy. The more you garlic you take, it will not allow you to become a vegetarian. And for people who are already vegetarians, there is a lot of disturbance in your energy. How much ever you meditate, there will be leakage of energy from your system. The topic about the food is very huge. It is itself a huge department. You have to cook right. This is also very important. First is the quality of the food and the quantity of the food. How to maintain the quality? It is best that a vegetarian cooks the food. It is still best if a vegetarian who is a meditator cooks the food. When to cook the food? You have to cook the food when you are hungry, when you want to eat, just before half an hour. Cook the food and have fresh food. In the previous days, there is something called Madi Achara. What they do, the elders, they should take bath and they used to tie that wet clothes and they should dry it naturally. So during this process time, they used to cook the food. Because what happens when you take bath, your aura is shrinked and there is purity in your aura. And because of that, there is a huge amount of energy which comes from you to the food. But now there is no achar. All that is gone. But now we say a meditator, if he cooks, it is much more higher than doing a madi achara. How to cook? Don't put more masala. Should be as much as sattvic as possible, but still you should cook it with so much of taste. When to eat? When you are hungry, you have to eat. If you are 20% hungry, you have to eat only 20%. You can't eat 40%. What happens if you eat more? You become obese. And you don't kick the bucket, the bucket kicks you. Means your body will say to you, hey, you soul, you're eating more. I cannot stay more in this body. And it will say, I'm kicking you and you will die soon. When eating, you can't watch TV and eat because you don't respect the food which you're eating. Will you roam here and there and keep eating food? No, you have to sit in a place, totally focus on the food, respect the food, and have the food consciously. So in Yuktahara, there is right quality of food, right cooking, right time to cook the food, right space to cook the food, and there is right eating and right situation. Proper eating of the food. That is Yuktahara. Right eating is Yuktahara. We should not kill animals and eat that food. It is wrong way. It is not the right way of eating. It is not the right choosing of eating the food. Meat eating is all about himsa. We have to be in ahimsa. We have to eat only vegetarian food. Next, we will talk about vihara. Yukta vihara means right way of enjoyment. So we do tireless work. So every Sunday we take a day off. Why? To enjoy, to take rest. For some, watching cricket is enjoyment. For some, singing music, listening to music is enjoyment. For some, singing is enjoyment. For some, playing different sports is enjoyment. For some, sitting in Maunam is enjoyment. For some, talking lada lada is kind of an enjoyment. So whatever is your enjoyment, do it properly, do it completely, do it fully, right? Enjoyment. You should not do more, you should not do less. This is about enjoyment. But some people kill animals. That is not enjoyment. Previously, they used to hunt, and they say that is a kind of an enjoyment. No, it is not enjoyment. It is torture to the animal kingdom. No torture, my dear friends. If you give torture to the animal kingdom, you will get the torture back. You have to pay for what you reap. There is always a cause and effect. There is always the law of karma, which will be working constantly. So, right enjoyment, watch cricket, play football, enjoy, spend time with your family, go to trekkings. Whatever is enjoyment to you, do it, except for killing, except for himsa. That is right enjoyment. That is right vihara. Vihara is enjoyment. Next is right chesta. Yukta chesta means all the jobs we do. One might be a bus conductor, one might be a driver, one might be a president, one might be a prime minister, like Narendra Modi. Even he wants enjoyment, right? But he does his job so beautifully. He works so hard. We are very happy to have a prime minister who does meditation. So whatever job you do that perfectly, do that right in all the departments. Should have the quality of work, should have the quantity of work, how much you have to work, when you have to work, where you have to work, how you have to work, when you have to stop working. All that you have to know. Even in enjoyment, how much to enjoy, when to enjoy, where to enjoy, where is your cutoff limit to enjoy. So you should not overdo it. You should always be in the middle path, either about the food or about the enjoyment or about your chestas. Always middle path. Buddha found out that all the suffering is because of, sorry, all these, he found out that everybody are suffering. Sorry. But he also found out the causes of suffering. The cause of suffering is if you are not eating right food, if you are not eating, not doing right enjoyment, if you are not doing right chesta, if you are not doing right sleep, if you are not having right enlightenment. These are all the causes of sorrow. So, if all these departments are taken care of, if everything is kept in its position, done in its way it has to be done, then all the sorrow in you disappears, and what remains is peace, joy, bliss. So, my dear friends, let us once again repeat the sloka of Bhagavad Gita, a beautiful sloka. Yuktahara viharasya, yukta chestasya karmasu, yukta swapnava bhautasya, yogo bhavati dukkha. So we have discussed about the three departments already. One is about the food, one is about the viharas, that is enjoyment, and one is about chesta, that is the all the duties we do. Now we'll discuss about swapna. Swapna in this stanza, in this sloka, refer to sleep. How much you have to sleep? When you have to sleep? Where you have to sleep? If you don't do proper work, you will not get good sleep at night. Is it? If you do some theft, if you kill somebody, if you do something which is of adharma, like killing, You will not get good sleep during the night. Sleeping is also a great big topic. What is sleep? In our body, there is something called Atma. Sleep is nothing but this Atma going and meeting or aligning with its Paramatma is nothing but sleep. Then what happens when that happens? You take tremendous amount of energy from your Paramatma. That is why when you wake up in the morning, you are so fresh, you are so energetic. If you do astral travel, you go do the astral travel and come back. You spend energy if you do astral travel. But if you are in deep sleep, you are going to get abundant amount of energy from your Paramatma, from the nature around you. Some people will sleep like this. Is it the way to sleep? No. Some people snore while sleeping. Is it the way? No. So this is in short about sleep, right way of sleeping. And are you allowed to sleep for 10 hours, 15 hours? No. The sleep varies from person to person. A non-meditator, minimum 8 hours, even 10 hours he will sleep. A meditator, junior meditator, sleeps say 6 hours. Senior meditator may sleep at for only 3 hours. Grand, highly enlightened master might not even sleep. It's a choice for them to sleep or not to sleep. I know a master in Karnataka. I've heard a master about in Karnataka from almost 7 years. He didn't sleep. I think by 10 p.m. In the night he sits in meditation and wakes up at 6 or 7. No sleep from almost 14 years. Sorry, not even 7, 14 years. So as you do tremendous meditation, your requirement of sleep totally gets down. Then it's up to you whether you want to take some sleep, enjoy something, some sleep, or don't sleep but do meditation, read great spiritual books, do Sajjana Sangatya, do seva to others. Next, my dear friends, let us talk about Avabodha. Avabodha means enlightenment. There is right way of enlightenment, there is a wrong way of enlightenment. One example which I can give is there is a master by name Chandrasekhar Sharma sir from Karnool. What happened? He's a great meditator, great master. So suddenly he was heating water on a stove. By mistake, he spilled the water and it fell on his body and huge bubbles, red pain, suffering. Then what happened? Somebody clicked the bell, so he has to open. And they said, "Sir, I've heard that." So the two people came and they asked, "Sir, I've heard that we have heard that you teach meditation. Can you please teach us meditation?" So what Chandrasekhar Sharma did is before he opened the door itself, he has covered his body with a blanket. He opened the door. The moment they asked, "Can you please teach us meditation?" He said, "Yeah, please come. Why not?" So he taught them meditation. And once the session is over, fine. He has finished his job of teaching meditation and giving the knowledge of meditation. And after that, he was suffering that whole day, even the next day. Next day, night, Mahavatar Babaji appeared and cured all of that pain and suffering. So Chandrasekhar Sharma sir is in right enlightenment. Some people what they do, if there is a meditation session, they bring their children. Children doesn't need meditation; they want to play. So if you bring them to a meditation class, it is not right. It is torture for them. They want to play, but you say you sit and you close your eyes. It is not a right thing to do. So that is a wrong way of enlightenment. And it is wrong for the mother to meditate when there is a child around. If she wants to meditate, either she can meditate when the child is asleep. Some kind of thing has to be done so that you have to meditate. Otherwise, keeping a child with you and still if you are meditating is not right. So all these five departments has to be done in the right percentage. All should be balanced. When all are balanced, then all the sorrow in your life disappears. That is the meaning of this sloka. Yuktahara viharasya yukta chestasya karmasu yukta yukta swapnaya bodhasya yogo bhavati dukkha. See, it is difficult to even pronounce sometimes, but with practice, everything is possible, my dear friends. Regarding the body, it is ahara. Regarding the mind, it is vihara. Regarding the intellect, it is chesta. Intellect is nothing but buddhi. And regarding atma, it is swapna, that is sleep. And regarding sarvatma, you can say awakening, avabodha, enlightenment. So 5 points, my dear friends. You right sleep, before that right food, right enjoyment, right duty or right work, right sleep, and right enlightenment. So let me again repeat the Bhagavad Gita sloka, my dear friends. Yuktahara viharasya yukta chestasya karmasu yukta swapnaya bodhasya yogo bhavati dukkha. So my dear friends, let us all meditate. Let us all do Sajjana Sangatya. Let us all read world-class spiritual books. Let us all do Seva. Let us speak what we know so that all the people of the world can also understand and learn from us. So, my dear friends, with this, I close today's topic. One last time, let me again repeat the statement. The sloka from Bhagavad Gita. Yuktahara viharasya yukta chestasya karmasu yukta swapnava bodhasya yoga bhavati dukkha. So, my dear friends, let us now do some meditation. Please remove your spectacles, close your eyes, relax completely. Just observe your natural, simple, tranquil, soft, tender breath. No thoughts whatsoever, my dear friends. No images in your mind. No chanting in your mind, my dear friends. Simply close your eyes and observe your breath. The more you meditate, the more sincerity you add into meditation, you get more seriousness. The more serious you are in your meditation, the quicker your enlightenment happens. When you are with the breath, my dear friends, your mind becomes empty. When you are empty, there is abundant amount of cosmic energy from the cosmos which will be entering into your physical system. When sufficient amount of cosmic energy enters into your system, there is activation, natural activation of the third eye. This is in short, but it's a huge process, my dear friends. Every day, morning and evening, even in the afternoon, whenever you have time, one can do meditation, my dear friends. Just observe the natural incoming and outgoing breath. Minimum time to do meditation is equal to one's age. If you are 30 years old, minimum 30 minutes twice per day or even more. You can put a nice music to meditate. You can sit under a pyramid to meditate. You can go to some kind of a nature, forest and meditate. You can do more meditation during Amavasya and full moon days. You can do more meditation with a group of co-meditators. These 5 points, my dear friends, are very, very important, which will harness, which will speed up your meditation practice, your evolution. Just observe your natural incoming breath. That is all, my dear friends. Do not open your eyes. So, today's topic is very, very important, my dear friends. In all the five departments: food, enjoyment, your daily duties, sleep, enlightenment. Everything should be of quality, everything should be of quantity, everything should be done in the right space, right time, right situation. Okay, my dear friends, thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you.